to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
Welcome in. Oh, it's Saturday. Oh, vroom, vroom. Hop on that lawnmower, Jason.
Did we get you in on the idea, Jay, of the riding mower?
I still live in Arizona. No way.
What about
you know how hot that lawnmower is? My skin is seared.
No. Enclosed with air conditioning.
Oh, absolutely, I'm in. Yeah,
it's
Do
like
they make any of those?
Like the Pope Mobile,
right. Like I'll go mow the grass of like the
There's
Cardinal
also no
Stadium.
mowing. He's just being displayed.
No, I know, but I'm saying like put some blades on the bottom of that thing.
I haven't looked at a picture of the Pope Mobile in a while.
It's got to have blades, right?
Yeah, it's also
Yeah, I
it's
mean-
multifunctional. No, is it just glass though up top?
I think it's saran
Like a
wrap.
fishbowl? Oh, saran wrap?
I don't know. No
Is it
idea.
just- when's the last time the Pope Mobile went out for a ride?
I don't. It's just fun. It's a fun word to say.
Happy Saturday, everybody. It's the Fantasy Footballers Podcast back with you. NFC South Breakdown episode. So enjoy your weekend chores with us. We're excited to talk about this division. There are questions. There are hopefully some answers on today's episode in terms of players that we're into as we look at all the changes. And, you know, it's going to be interesting in Atlanta in particular with a quarterback change. And now I'm getting bombarded with Pope Mobile pictures.
Well, I've moved on to the Booger Mobile and just
I forgot about that.
Oh man, what a tragedy!
The Booger Mobile blocking everybody's view.
How ESPN had Booger on there, and they were like, "We got to get this guy out of here." And they're like, "What do we do? Put him on this contraption on the sideline that blocks all the big paying customers."
The older I get, the more I realize how dumb people are in every single field.
Right, there are
Because-
a
Yeah,
lot
it's
of
very,
them.
like
Like
the show.
production, like I watched the MLB. I saw a brief clip of the MLB home run derby, and somebody there thought that what we wanted to see was a whole lot of the pitchers, which are like the coaches that are
in the
shot.
derby.
In the derby shot, we got like a huge view of the net and their arms, and a little view of the batter. And then like what the NBA on ESPN with the graphics that look like they came from
in the
1994,
playoffs.
where instead of showing me the replay,
You are burning so many bridges for us right now, Andy.
you show me a claymation animation of the replay where I want to watch the replay.
These opinions are only shared by Andrew Holloway.
Right.
Oh,
they are his own.
You brought up the Booger Mobile. That was ESPN.
It was great,
Oh.
guys. What an idea! Bring it back.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well,
It's
look.
so big, and they're like, just slap a television
on the back of it.
so the fans won't miss anything.
Booger flying up and down the sidelines.
Good times.
Well, good. Thank you for joining us. If you want to watch this show, you can do so on YouTube, youtube.com/thefantasyfootballers. Make sure you subscribe and click the bell. That'll let you know when Mike's going live. Sunday Live coming soon.
Oh yeah, it is.
With the NFL
We're coming
season.
in hot.
We've got the ability to follow us over on Spotify and Apple. Drop us a 5-star review over there if you got a couple extra minutes this weekend. That would be awesome. That would help the show out. This fine independent podcast, you can make sure Al Borland over there keeps getting a paycheck.
And
you know?
Smirky McSmirkerson.
Yeah, Papa Josh.
We appreciate you.
Papa
for
Josh is on a big road trip this week. Took the week off to go on a big road trip.
A virtual road trip.
Virtual road trip.
Believe
He'll be back next week.
Who knows where Josh is?
You know, the problem is
We all know
when
where
he
he is.
needs
He's on
time
his-
off, I'm not giving it.
He's on
That's
his
all I'm saying.
Video game machine. That's where
His
he is.
video game machine?
Well,
Are you 80,000 years old?
well,
Your
sometimes
Nintendos. What are you doing?
I don't know if he's playing on a
Video game
PC,
machine. But no
or if
one's
he's
ever
playing on a
called him.
console.
Just pick one.
Burn him down, Mike.
All right,
Your
let's move
video
on.
game machine.
Oh man,
Goodness gracious.
You know what, Mike?
What?
I hate myself.
Thank you. Thank you.
You did it. You did it.
All right. Well,
Happy Saturday.
quick reminder, all of you, the Ultimate Draft Kit, that's a fun tool to You can pull that open this weekend and start looking at all of our rankings for 2025, all of our sleepers, breakouts, busts, and values. Take a look at the draft analyzer, which you can break down mock drafts as well. You can load those into the draft analyzer, and that's all available at ultimatedraftkit.com.
Yeah, and guess what had to be changed? Some projections. Because
it's lawyer time.
Guess who's back?
It's lawyer time.
News and notes from around the league.
Well, we barely missed this news on our last episode of the show, but here we go. Rashee Rice, we didn't know if his legal troubles, his legal situation was going to be taken care of ahead of the 2025 season or if we'd be waiting for another year before a potential suspension. However, news came in early on Thursday. A Dallas County judge has sentenced Rashee Rice to 5 years probation and 30 days of jail time that can be served anytime during the 5 years of probation.
That's nice.
All stemming from his role in a multi-car crash in Dallas during the 2024 offseason. That means that it is highly likely, although not official as of this recording, that he will serve his suspension in 2025, and that suspension, from everything that, my initial reaction to it, I took 4 games away from Rashee Rice. Everything I'm seeing right now from, more well-trained legal experts and CBA experts, and Jason even ran it through the AI overlords looking at the CBA and
had a deep dive.
The precedent set, but it looks like 4 games is right in that sweet spot of what we can expect. It could be more. I mean, the league has to look at, they don't just look at what the courts determine when they determine their punishments. They also look at extenuating circumstances, mitigating circumstances, and the actual events that transpired. Rashee Rice fled the scene of an accident, caused an accident, was charged with assault. Doesn't matter what he pleads down to. If the league determines that they want to hit him harder, that could happen, could be an appeal, yada, yada, yada.
It seems like it would be a minimum of 2 games, a maximum of 6 games is the broadest strokes. That seems like the range. And then whatever it comes out as, when it comes out, it could be challenged, and if it comes out as 6 games, it could end up being 4 games once the appeal process has gone through if Rice decides to do that. But the good news is this should all happen in time before most drafts. Like by the time we get to draft season, we should know Rashee Rice is missing the first X games.
Yeah, shout out to the best ball bros out there who overdrafted Rice at his ADP.
The worst part of this, I mean, not the worst part, let's be honest.
Yeah,
the worst part is what happened.
There's a pretty bad part in there.
The worst part happened to the people in the incident. Yeah. But the second worst part is that for the first time in the whole dang offseason, I drafted Rashee Rice in a mock draft last week, a show ago, and you guys are all like, Kyle's going, finally, you're on board.
The fantasy reaper.
Well, I'm not on board anymore. Let me put it that way. And this is going to throw into flux Travis Kelce.
Yes.
Patrick Mahomes. Any hopes of a real resurgent Patrick Mahomes year? I'm not excited about that potential right now. Xavier Worthy's draft spot is going to change. Hollywood Brown's total targets. Our projections for the Chiefs have been completely renovated.
Yeah, when I watched the Chiefs last year, especially take the first 6 games, the first 3 with Rice, the next 3 without him, and you saw the same area of the field that Travis Kelce's operating. Kelce got off to a really slow start last year. They are vying for those same type of targets. So I think the biggest beneficiary here is Travis Kelce. I expect him to get off to a strong start this season while Rashee Rice misses games.
Yeah, which makes sense too with just an older player. The late season or late career Larry Fitzgerald and Hines Ward, they had such stronger front halves of the season. But now you have to think about, you take the shot on Rashee Rice in a draft and we'll get the amount of games suspended, but this is not an IR-eligible player.
Correct.
This is now going to be a player that, let's say it's 6.
Oh, man.
If it's 6 games, you holding Rashee Rice on your bench for 6 games?
I don't think so.
He was really, really good last year, but I want to stress it was 3 games, and it was 3 games where you had Pacheco injured, no Hollywood Brown, not Brown, and it was a little different, right? Xavier Worthy was a brand new rookie who had barely had any snaps.
Well, put it this way, the before this news, when there was an assumption that he would be healthy and play the entire season, there was plenty of debate on whether he was a decent draft pick or not. So it's not like this is Justin Jefferson missing 4 games or 6 games. You're going to have to hold on to someone and take up a bench spot and whatever draft capital to spend on him. He's dropping down to the 4th now. Will he go later? Will he be 6th? I don't know what it is yet, but it's going to be a very risky pick, and you better believe you're right if you take him, that he's going to be a superstar.
We're going to have to send somebody to law school here at the company.
Seriously.
And
Can't be one of the deucers. They'll never pass the bar.
Oh,
I don't think we need him to pass the bar, though.
Oh, really?
Oh, are they just auditing classes?
Yeah, they just
okay.
take some
It'd
courses.
be cheaper for
if
us.
they pass the bar, they're leaving us. Then they're going to go be lawyers.
Oh, that's
They can-
true. We
they
don't pay.
fancy
We don't pay
suits.
them anything.
They could go under the bar.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially Matt. Jordan Addison, guess what?
Ay, goodness gracious.
Pled guilty to a lesser included vehicular offense.
We
I'm
are
not laughing
children. We're
the-
children.
The technical term, is this what you'd like me to
No,
describe?
I think is this technical or is this slang?
This is technical.
Okay.
It's wet reckless. It's he pleaded guilty on a wet reckless charge.
We find you guilty
So I'm
of
seeing
wet reckless.
I'm seeing the official
guilty as charged.
I'm seeing it as wet and reckless.
Whoa! I don't know which one's worse.
That one's worse. Wet and reckless.
Wet and reckless,
Your Honor. Your Honor.
often shortened to wet reckless, is a type of plea bargain where a prosecutor
No.
in Arizona agrees to
Well,
in whatever state agrees to reduce a misdemeanor driving under influence to a ridiculous name.
Jordan Addison is wet and reckless. Okay.
We should not be laughing.
No,
No,
like,
no,
like
no,
this
no.
this is a serious
is-
offense,
Really bad.
Serious and reckless.
and then we got to give names out like this, and it's just
Really throws us off.
it is because it's objectively funny.
Yeah.
So look,
it
he's
is.
going the TLDR 2 to 3 games. 2 to 3 games. Jordan
Yeah.
Addison's likely to miss as a suspension for being wet and reckless.
The NFL is reviewing it.
So
Come
are we
on,
done? Are we
man.
done with that? I mean,
Yeah, I could go all day.
Oh, I
So let's just move on. I don't want to make light at something that is a very bad decision.
okay. How about this? We've got Jefferson, nicknamed Jet and Reckless.
Jet?
Reckless is Addison. That's a combo.
Jet and reckless.
Jet and
As a-
Reckless. Mike
maybe.
is not in.
because I don't want to say the other one.
Okay. The Chargers officially placed Najee Harris on the NFI, the non-football injury list, to begin training camp.
Still waiting for that photo. I really want to see.
You want to see his eye.
I want to see his eye. Yeah,
I think we all do.
yeah. I mean, there's no jokes
I want to know
here.
that he's okay.
Yeah, exactly, Mike.
Trey Harris has now agreed to terms. Will sign his rookie contract.
They're flowing in.
All the second rounders are going to start signing now. And in conjunction with Trey Harris, rookie wide receiver for the Los Angeles Chargers, Mike Williams officially retired from the NFL after 8 seasons. He's only 30 years old, was the 7th overall pick in 2017. I mean, it's time. I guess the injuries are just piling up for Mike Williams. No player jumped higher and landed harder than Mike Williams throughout his
Correct.
entire career. So many like Sports Center style catches from Mike Williams, but he just couldn't stay healthy.
He's a special guy. There's not a lot of 6'3" plus 210-pound wide receivers out there, and so I don't know where they're gonna find a 6'3", 210-pound receiver to replace him. Oh wait, they just signed Trey Harris. Yeah, baby.
Jason is the highest in the entire office on Trey Harris, having him
In the world.
He's at 59 in your wide receiver rankings right now.
Very bullish, obviously.
It could be Keenan Allen coming back to Los Angeles too. There's some
Could be.
rumors about Keenan coming home.
That'd be fun.
That would help.
If Keenan came, though, that would be really hard, I think, more on Ladd.
That would be bad for Ladd.
Bad
make
for
me
Ladd.
sad.
Yeah,
That's pretty bad.
this is it's got a Saturday vibe here, guys.
Look
Look at that
You know
shirt.
what?
Look at that shirt
oh,
Al's wearing.
yeah.
That's a Saturday shirt right
back
there.
to the main cam. Jason's
my
on
Henley.
Oh
I gotta,
God.
I
Jason's
gotta
going
unbutton a couple of these.
to leisure.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm relaxing today.
I'll just say about the Chargers news because everything else is speculation. But as we stand right now, Quentin Johnston does need to be paid attention to.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's our Quentin guy over there.
The best part of Keenan Allen signing to the Chargers, should that happen, is I could never do that again.
No,
So-
Mike drafted him in the last mock
Yep.
draft and then reminded us again today, if you want to associate Quentin with a person here at the show, Mike's volunteering.
Someone's got to do it.
If I
He was on pace for 9 touchdowns last year, 9.1.
Who was?
Quentin
Huge.
Johnston. Over 100 targets, 9 touchdowns. It was
Wait, did
very
he, is that so he missed some games, you're saying?
Yes, he did miss
Okay.
a
It
couple.
was very sporadic, but the totality of the season was better than you remember.
It'd have been funny if he played a full 17 and you said he's on pace for what he got. For what he got. That's why I wasn't sure. I didn't remember
If
him
he
missing
played
time.
a full 17 and I said he was on pace for 9.1, that'd be super weird.
He was at a 23.5% targets per route run, which is very
I
strong.
think he should be a my guy, Mike. That's
Okay.
what I'm hearing.
I'll put him on the board for you.
He should be ignored. But I still don't think he is very good.
What's the in between of ignored and paid attention to?
Darnell
Glanstead?
Mooney.
Okay.
You went with the name?
You went with the person?
Yeah.
All right. Anthony Richardson is believed to have been recovered and starting to throw again.
Okay.
Dude, that's every quarterback I draft, I want them to be able to throw.
Goodness gracious. They're just
Jason is just
I'm here for
What are
one
you
reason
doing?
today.
he unbuttoned the shirt, Mike.
the point.
Don't make me take it off.
The point of this blurb was we were on reports of we didn't know if Richardson was going to be ready for training camp. And if Richardson's not there to start training camp, that is a huge head start for Daniel Jones.
Albert Breer believes Stephon Diggs is trending towards playing in week 1. This is
That's very aggressive.
that's also very important.
Yes.
People need to understand how bad the rest of the depth chart is because Stephon Diggs can soak up targets. If you believe in Drake May in any capacity, you have to believe in Stephon Diggs in some capacity. That's my math equation in New England.
So-
It doesn't mean he's a super high draft pick. It just means he's kind of a sneaky draft pick.
I don't disagree. It's just the injury, like the historical injury of the ACL. Research is it's a 9 to 12 month recovery to return to a game. The end of August will be 9 months. That's what I mean. It would be pretty aggressive.
It would.
It's
but
not impossible.
We saw him running routes.
A while ago.
Like 2 months ago.
And he looked just like Kayshon Boutte, who was running right next to him. I will be currently
Is that
surprised.
good or bad?
I think that's very good. Kayshon Boutte is a very young, athletic wide receiver.
Okay.
And so to be at that stage, I think right now Stephon Diggs is a clear value in the draft. They also have a good opening schedule. We talked about that when we covered their division, but you're talking Raiders and
favored by
Dolphins.
3 in week 1, aren't they?
That they're playing the Raiders.
Yeah. So look, Diggs was in our, I think, values list. We pulled him when we got conflicting
When there was
reports of
the
his
pop talk.
availability, but he's right on that edge. You know, he's not the same Stephon Diggs. You can't put that into your like a top 10 type of wide
No.
receiver. But he might not be drafted or very close to not drafted in a lot of leagues. And big news.
Get paid.
TJ Watt. TJ Watt has become the highest non-paid quarterback in NFL history. It's the second time that's happened for him. 3-year, $123 million extension, $108 million guaranteed.
I like
And
TJ
worth
Watt.
it.
I like to imagine that draft year, like the first round's almost over, and the Steelers like who do you want to take? I just take JJ's brother,
I mean, TJ Watt.
and then you're like, oh hey look, the other Watt is awesome.
Yeah, the questions around him was like, he's 30, and is he worth $108 million?
Yeah, this is.
I mean, he kind of took a little step back last year.
Did he?
Yeah, I mean, his sacks went from 19 to 11. I mean, that's not like 11's great, but
It's just giving that much money to a.
But he was 13,
His
14,
age.
15, 22, 19, and then it's what you got to do. I mean, they're all in, so it's what he needed, and they gave it to him, and that's it for news. So we'll take a break, and we'll jump into our divisional breakdown.
Let's get divisional.
Into the NFC South we go,
Yes.
and we will talk through Tampa Bay and Atlanta and Carolina, New Orleans, look at the players, rookies, coaching changes, how their offenses, defenses have changed, offensive lines, and we'll give our take on how we think this division will play out, which I think, again, this is one where you could definitely see it going some different ways, and we'll start with Tampa Bay. I mean, last year was the second year in a row that the NFC South title was not decided until the literal final week of the season. And it went to Tampa Bay, 10-7. Now they were, very good for fantasy. Like the Baker story, Mike Evans, Godwin while he was healthy, McMillan at times as a spot start, Kate Otten at times, and then Bucky Irving. Like there were lots of fantasy storylines in Tampa Bay, and you can go watch our Halloween show and see Jason dressed up as Laser Mayfield himself. This was a very fun. Go ahead.
Busted.
Oh, well, that's not I gave you the chance, Jay.
Laser.
And now you're busted. So
What is happening?
he is. What'd you drink with lunch?
Yeah, seriously.
I had an amino energy drink, and I'm feeling it.
I got so much energy. Look, they were 10-7, but they were only 3-5 in one-score games. So they weren't one of those teams that like kind of outkicked what it looked like they were supposed to do. They have hit the over on their Vegas win total in 5 of the last 6 years. And last year it was 7.5. This year's 9.5.
Okay.
They have the 10th easiest strength of schedule, according to our friend of the show, Warren Sharp, and his breakdown of the season. They were number 4 in points per game, number 3 in yards per game. Baker was amazing. They had a top 5 quarterback. They had a top 15 running back in Bucky with another top 24 in Mr. Rashad White.
Rashad White made it into the top 24?
They had a top 12 wide receiver. They had a top 12 tight end. And only the 2012 Patriots can match those numbers. Yeah, Rashad White kind of...
He did.
Yeah, he feels like he didn't exist, but he did a little bit. And they're the first team in NFL history to complete 70+% of their passes, average 5+ yards per catch. This was an amazing, amazing offense. And that's a big win total, 9.5 for them going into this year. Todd Bowles, I believe he got an extension this offseason. And it's going to be interesting. They added a very highly touted first-round rookie wide receiver to the mix, and then they paid Chris Godwin this offseason. So, in my opinion, they're one of the more loaded offenses in football.
Yes.
And so, when you talk about the possible outcomes of the season, biggest question maybe being, can Baker work his magic again with a third offensive coordinator in the last 3 years? I mean, the Buccaneers are the example of why hiring a defensive head coach can be difficult.
Yeah.
Because you have we all love Todd Bowles. We all think he's a really good head coach. He had a tough time in New York because it's the Jets. That's why. But offensive coordinator, it was Dan Canales. Then it was Liam Cohen. And now
the Grizzler.
It's Josh Grizzard.
Well,
Grizzard.
We saw allegedly people are saying it Grizzard, but no.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
We deny your pronunciation.
Yeah, we have a show to run here. And how you were born, what you're named, really irrelevant to us.
This team adding Egbuka is it's absurd.
I don't know if I think with the Godwin contract, it was even more.
No, I don't mean absurd in like
it was
I
more
can't
surprising.
I'm like, as in like this trio
like an
of wide
abundance of
receivers.
riches?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of if will Egbuka be a week 1 starter? It might take some time. I know McMillan had his end of season run, but ceiling wise, McMillan is not Egbuka. And if you're seriously running out those 3 guys of Evans, Godwin, Egbuka, it will be very, very difficult to stop any sort of passing attack.
So Baker, let's start there with, you can say all the great things about how the offense performed. You got to change at OC, but you have all these weapons. He had 8 finishes inside the top 5 at the position. He was amazing for fantasy players.
Yeah, he was 4,540.
So then it's like, I've said it. I've put it on record before. I don't like looking at all of his history in averages to determine Baker now in Tampa Bay, because I think he is leveled up several levels, and it's just different situations, different weapons. But obviously, putting up what was the touchdown total?
40.
Yeah, putting up 40 is just, take Baker out of the equation. Just look at averages.
41.
41 passing touchdowns?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I apologize. 41.
Oh, then I think he can get to 40.
Okay.
No. But, I mean, it was 28 the year before in Tampa.
Which was his career high
It was
before 40.
It was his career high.
And I know what you're saying.
But I think mid-30s is very, very – like, I'd bet on it.
Mid-30 touchdown.
Yes.
Okay.
I'd bet on 35.
Because he's early 30s age-wise.
I need a button to hit. I don't even know what button to hit.
Here's the thing. You can say, okay, I don't buy into the early Baker career stuff because he had different wide receivers, different poorly run organizations. That stuff is true. However, he played 89 games before this last year for a number of different teams and offenses and offensive coordinators, and through that time, his touchdown rate was 4.6%, which is basically just don't just take his history, take the history of all quarterbacks. That's basically what the NFL does. It's a very normal rate. Will he be above 4.6? Yeah, probably. I mean, he was 4.9% the previous year with, Evans and Godwin and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But he jumped to 7.2% last year. And it is not uncommon for this to happen for quarterbacks throughout a career, to have a year with an outlier touchdown percentage. This is like the easiest regression to spot coming. And so mid-30s, I'm fine with that. I think he can.
7.2 is extreme, for sure.
Yes.
And 4.9 was a bit low he's had 5.6, 5.3. The truth of the matter is I think what I'm pushing back against a little bit, and I'm doing this with a lot of these regression candidates, is Baker Mayfield. This was the storyline of last offseason. We did this already. We did it. We did the Baker Mayfield regression storyline all offseason. Different offensive coordinator. He was over 4,000 yards, and he never done that before. And we got the other side of the coin is all I'm saying. And so I think it's very reasonable. Like, I don't see anything on this offense. Great offensive line, great running game, great passing game, amazing weapons, depth when weapons go down. Baker lost weapons last year and still put up those numbers, right? Godwin was gone in the middle of the season. So, I think that Baker, I don't think he finishes at quarterback 3 again.
No.
But I don't think he finishes at 10.
I think he finishes 10 or lower, personally. And part of that is because we know the touchdowns will come down. He's not throwing 40 touchdowns this year, so you take away 5 of them. That's still a lot of touchdowns. If he scores 35 passing touchdowns, then he'll be among the league leaders. But that's a big drop in fantasy points. But then it's not just that, it's his rushing. I mean, he had 378 rushing yards, almost like double his career high. His career high before that was 165, and it's not like the attempts changed. He had a year with 54 rushing attempts. He had a year the year prior with 62 rushing attempts, more than he had this last year, but somehow he went from 163 rushing yards to 378. He did not get more athletic. He had a bunch of big runs. It was great, awesome fantasy.
It was really fun.
But it just feels like, if I had to say, well, who is Baker? How does he run? What can he do on the ground? I'm definitely going to bet with what he's done throughout his career than last year's.
The year before he was the quarterback 10 with all the lower numbers.
Right.
So, I mean, I think that's why I have him between 10 and 3.
I think around 10 is very fair. If he plays 17 games, he should be a quarterback 1. But right now he's being drafted
quarterback 7.
Yeah, I mean,
perfect.
Yeah,
I think it's an okay fair shot. It's just where I would push on the regression is I won't argue that it has Baker seemingly really improved, or you could even say just actually he's returning the promise of what he was, which was the number 1 overall pick, and then he overcame the circumstances. So we're seeing the real Baker, but we see Hall of Fame quarterbacks have these types of seasons where they're throwing up in the 7th percentile per attempt for touchdown rate, and then they drop at least a full percentage, and these are guys who will go right into the Hall of Fame. And
the best thing we can do, though, is approach it from the perspective on all these quarterbacks of what are your highest odds of getting success at the position.
Yes.
Because there's variance for everybody.
But not just highest odds of general success, but you have to add with that highest outcome of success. Like, can they be a league winner? Not just they beat quarterbacks, He
was in consistency, 64% of the time above 17 points per game. Week in and week out, he was a valuable fantasy player, and I do believe that's what he will be again this year.
Okay.
But look, what that regression looks like, touchdown-wise, all we've said is what they've added this offseason.
Yeah.
You're taking a Baker Mayfield that didn't have Igbukah or Godwin.
Would you rather have Baker in the 6th or Jordan Love in the 9th?
I'll take Baker. Yeah, I feel very, very safe with Baker. I think he's shown us the last 2 years. And a great schedule, great offensive line. So I feel very safe with Baker in the 6th. I think it's perfect price, QB7, and I'm not intimidated by offensive coordinator changes.
Yeah, I mean that is normal for Baker.
We like Bucky, but Bucky is the RB8 off the board right now. I feel like we could get stuck in Tampa Bay arguments for the rest of the show because, I'm a big Bucky fan.
I think we're all
we're
fans.
all big,
His draft price is a little scary. Not that we don't have him ranked very close. Like a quick look, it seems like I have him at 9, Andy is at 9, Jason's at 11. So we're all just as a group a little bit behind consensus, and he's
in a tier right now on our UDK where he shares the tier with Chase Brown, Josh Jacobs, Kyron Williams, and Jonathan Taylor.
It feels right.
But he's the highest, most expensive.
Yeah.
Which is why it becomes a challenge for all of us to draft him.
That's a perfect snapshot of his situation.
Yeah. Clip that. Clip
there
that.
You go.
Was good.
So
that's good work.
Rachaad White pretty much being ignored in drafts, 10th round pick.
You shouldn't.
Yeah, in double-digit rounds. I mean, Rachaad White is not their future. He's not. He's probably going to be gone after this year.
It's going to feel so gross to draft him.
But this is a guy who is absolutely involved, had over 200 opportunities last year. We brought it up. He was the running back 24. He's not great, but he is.
He's the kind of player that there's a dude in our league that just drafts the nastiest dudes in the late rounds, and they always provide value, and Rachaad White fits right in there.
Yeah.
How do you see the wide receiver room panning out, Jason, with Mike Evans right now a late 3rd, Godwin in the 6th, Igbukah and McMillan share an 11th round. You've got Cade Otton, who did have a really necessary portion of the year.
He's only a Mr. Necessary, though.
So, but how do you see the wideouts?
Yeah, I mean, Chris Godwin was essentially the alpha before he went down to injury, but I've still got Mike Evans clearly ahead. I want more information on Chris Godwin coming back. Ironically, my target share for both of those guys is identical.
For who?
For Evans and Godwin.
Okay.
But the valuable targets, if they're both going to get 130 targets, they're going to be very different for Chris Godwin than for Mike Evans. I'd rather have the double-digit touchdown upside of Evans, the downfield, big explosive plays.
We have Godwin. He's been hurt before, and his return from injury was really depressing. But then I feel like we're getting that scare washed away by the contract this offseason. So
and his ADP. His ADP is the risk is already in there.
It's 6th round.
In the 6th round. Like I struggle.
Ooh, 6th round. So who you taking, Baker or Godwin?
I mean, I don't know.
It's a trick question. Jameson Williams is in the 6th.
Yeah, that is.
I personally struggle with the Evans versus Godwin because it was not they're going back and forth in those when Chris Godwin was doing what he was doing at the beginning of the year. The first 7 weeks, Chris Godwin had put up, he's averaging 9 targets, 7 receptions and 82 yards per week. That is what Chris Godwin was averaging in that exact same time period. I'll cut one game out because Mike Evans got hurt also, in week 7, but he was averaging 4 for 51. Like this was not we're 1A, 1B. It was the Chris Godwin show.
But if you just think about it, I mean, all the years that Godwin's been a part of Tampa Bay, Mike Evans, wide receiver 8, 12, 10, 8.
Sure.
It doesn't matter how it happens.
But it's a very large gap
for a small time period of their
No. Their ADP.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were saying a large gap between their production when they were playing together.
Both of those things. But
Mike, if you had to bet your house and everything you save for your children's future college,
this is
on
really,
Mike Evans
really
getting 1,000 yards or not getting 1,000 yards this season,
of course I'll take the 1,000 yards. But is that he barely surpassed. You're making me talk bad about Mike Evans right now, and I don't appreciate that.
I don't know.
My point is you shouldn't. He's been great. This team manufactured him the 1,000 yards to keep that streak going, if you remember that at the end of the season.
The final couple weeks they did.
He missed a handful of games, and it seemed like he was not going to be able to get there. And they're like,
I don't think I'm drafting Godwin.
Yeah, are you?
I don't think I'm taking him in the 6th round. I'm fine with Evans, but you've got Igbuka that represents a huge portion of the future, and Godwin could start really slow. And maybe not have – I mean, Liam Cohen's not there. Liam Cohen was the difference between Canales and Liam Cohen was that magic beginning for Godwin. So I don't know.
That is very
Makes
fair.
me nervous.
And we have like his particular injury, we have seen players recently poor, like performing poorly right when they came back from it. And we've seen players who get that same injury and they're just fine. So it's –
Do you care more about your family or Mike Evans?
Oh, Mike Evans.
Okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
They start against Atlanta in Atlanta, and they're favored in week 1. And then at Houston, then the Jets, then Philadelphia. So should be an interesting re-roll of this offense again. And the offensive line ranks 6th. They are going to be without Tristan Wirfs for a little while, right?
They are.
So that's worth mentioning. Atlanta.
Worth mentioning.
Yeah, worth mentioning.
Yeah.
I can't believe you let that one go.
The way that this podcast is going?
Yeah. On a Saturday.
Come on.
Jason is controlling the vibe of this podcast very carefully. Buttons. If he could unbutton any more, he would.
You're lucky I didn't wear a full button-up shirt today.
I mean, he
fellas.
would be. I'm surprised he doesn't grab
Belly button
scissors and
out.
start cutting that thing off. Atlanta was 8-9. We're going to move on to Atlanta. They were 7-6 in one-score games. They have not had a 500 or better season since 2017.
And yet they are projected for 7.5 games. So
Yeah, they're not projected for. I mean, last year they were projected for 9.5, and the Kirk Cousins experiment. Well, that was a bad experiment. It didn't work. His mobility after the injury. Then he had the Achilles recovery, but then he had a shoulder injury, and he played even worse after that. In fact, he started much better. They were 6-3 to start the year. Then he collapsed. Was throwing interceptions all over the place. Passing yards went down. It looked like he couldn't throw at all. And there have been some resurgent rumors, by the way, of Cousins to Cleveland yet again.
Oh, my gosh.
Which was my original prediction.
It was.
would be
But
awesome.
I had all but given up on it because they drafted 16 quarterbacks in the draft. But, Michael Penix Jr. took over. They averaged double the points per game when he was under center over the last 3 weeks. They didn't win those games. They were 1-2, but
And as a reminder, because I know a lot, we're going to talk about those 3 games with how it related to Drake London and Penix and Bijan, because that's the future. But those 3 games were against 3 of the worst defenses in the league: the Giants and the Panthers. The Washington Commanders were in there. They're average.
their strength of schedule, according to Warren Sharp, is the 4th easiest in football, and yet just 7.5 wins in a softer division. So that is at least a little bit of a nod to all the doubts and questions that we're going to bring up here when talking about Atlanta, which, it begins with the quarterback. This team didn't perform on offense the way they wanted to last year. Bottom 3rd. Zach Robinson came over with a lot of fanfare from the McVay universe and kind of gets us a slight pass with just what happened with Kirk Cousins. But,
Yeah, I will judge him harshly after this season.
yeah,
Like,
and
if you're going to have a top 10 quarterback pick, you better put a show on.
yeah, the pick was, when the pick happened of Michael Penix, it was ridiculed everywhere. But it seems like maybe, I know we've talked about
I
this.
stand by it.
You can't really fix a mistake with a mistake, but
Right.
but it was an insurance policy that they needed quickly. They have a top 10 offensive line ranking on PFF heading into the new year.
That's great for Bijan.
Yeah, Bijan is he's a player that we're not going to have to.
We can't let Jason talk about Bijan anymore.
We don't have to discuss at length. He from week 6 on, he scored 17 plus fantasy points in all but one game. It was outrageous. He was everything that you hoped he could be. And he belongs at the tippy top of your draft. If you want to take him 1-on-1, that's fine. That's totally fine. Good offensive line, peak of his career for running backs.
He's a game script proof back. If they get down, they throw him the ball. If they're up, they run the clock out. So you love that. One of the true workhorses, an A in consistency. There's literally nothing to criticize with Bijan.
But when it comes to pass catchers, it's kind of like Drake London, and then what do you have? Like, is Kyle Pitts even worth bringing up on a fantasy football show anymore? Darnell Mooney kind of slots in as what he is, right? Like he's a wide receiver too that's probably better than his draft spot.
Yeah, he's in the 10th round, wide receiver 49. He'll outproduce that.
Michael Penix only completed 55% of his passes.
55!
You know, they've talked a lot about not changing him. If you've seen recent comments from the offensive staff, it's like, we like the things that make Michael Penix special, which is taking chances.
Oh, that dude airs it out.
Airing it out. So that's going to come with some good and bad. Also, their defense is going to dictate a lot of things. They were not a great defense. So, you know, where are you from the fantasy perspective on this team? Like, is Drake London, he's drafted so highly. He's a top of the second round pick. But I haven't taken him in a mock. And I don't know if you can, I mean, can you talk me into why I need to be just ultra confident in Drake London regardless of how much Michael Penix Jr. we've seen?
Yeah, I mean, he is the reason you should be ultra confident is, like you said, their defense is not good, and he has no other wide receivers to really truly compete with. Darnell Mooney's on the other side, great, but he proved that he could be kind of an alpha wide receiver. He was the wide receiver 6 last year in fantasy, and that was with the old busted version of Kirk Cousins. So let's say Michael Penix...
It's pretty juiced from that Carolina game in Week 18.
Sure, he had an incredible 187
10 for
yard.
187 and 2 for 35 points. That'll jump you up a couple spots.
Yeah, but the counter argument to that is that was one of the Michael Penix games. So you're going, oh, okay, so Michael Penix is willing to just throw him the ball a ton. Even before that, you're on target taking that crazy game out, which is dumb to just take out his best game, but without his best game, he's still on a 100-target pace, 1,100 yards.
Target or catch?
Reception, sorry, okay. 147 target
If you're
pace.
saying he's a 100-target pace, you should not draft him.
So he's a young, in his prime, alpha wide receiver with no competition for targets and a bad defense. Like, I'm all about
pretty
that.
potent.
Kyle Pitts' yards per route run over the last 4 years have dropped every single year. He had 38% of his snaps in line, 3 times his rate from 2023. It's like the air's let out of the balloon at this point.
It's hard to talk about. He's the oldest 24-year-old on planet Earth.
He's Greg Oden.
Ah, that's a good comp.
That's how it feels.
Like Greg Oden, he's on his way to being just a trivia question.
Like one of the biggest busts in a long time. Is there any hope for him this season? I mean, you just literally talked about them having nobody but Drake London.
There is always hope. I mean,
that's
because he's 24.
And that's how he gets you.
Yeah, he's 24. He was the 4th pick in the NFL draft.
He's like, I got this candy bar over
athlete.
Here.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: is he in a contract year?
I don't know. Is he?
Kyle?
I think so.
He is, unfortunately.
Yeah, there he is.
All right,
Kyle.
baby. So now that motivation is there.
This is a fool me quintuple times situation, which is I tried
fool
to
me
figure,
4 times.
I tried to figure out what the phrase is. It's quintuple. We'll take a break. We'll talk Panthers. Oh, by the way, they start the season against Tampa Bay, Minnesota, Carolina, and Washington. Are you surprised that their win total's at 7.5?
No.
Would you have thought it'd been higher?
No, I did not.
Even in this division?
No, I will say
With
this.
that easy of a schedule?
When I first looked at the Falcons here, I saw their win total at 9.5, and I was blown away. But I was looking at last year's win total projection.
Because you expected it lower?
Yes, because I expected it.
They're not favored in a game until week 8.
Yeah, that'll dictate some things.
See, that's why you need Cousins gone. I'm serious. You can't have him on that bench.
Yeah.
This is too.
When they start losing games.
Yeah, he's too experienced of a player. And like, look, if those numbers are accurate, if it was a lot of shoulder issue situation, I mean, weeks 1 through 9, they were playing well. They were scoring 25 points a game.
Didn't he have a game where he threw 500 yards and like 5 touchdowns?
Yeah.
There was a primetime game that was
that
awesome.
overtime game he won. So like, you can't have him there if you want Michael Penix to be your future. I don't know if Kyle, do you want Cousins gone? Are you on the mic?
I'm just sad for
Okay.
him.
Yeah.
You're sad for Kirk?
Just sad in general. For this
Just
team.
sad as a Falcons fan.
72% completion percentage, 4 touchdowns, 509 passing yards, and that was against Tampa Bay.
Yeah. where they start the year. So we'll take a break. Be right back. Well, I think a lot of people would have expected us to not be talking about Carolina yet because Carolina was one of the worst teams in football.
But they got to play in a division with the Saints.
But here they are. They're the third team we get to talk about. 5-12 Carolina. Last year, the win total 5.5. So they were right on it.
Did you see that point differential from last year?
What was it?
-193.
Here's their last 7 years win totals. 7, 5. This is how many they accomplished, not Vegas totals. 7, 5, 5, 5, 7, 2, 5.
So, Kyle, as a Falcons fan, you got to feel much better.
Yeah, do you feel good now, Kyle?
It's still a terrible division.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. They also allowed the most points of all time, 534. It was a dream to play against the Carolina Panthers defense because they give up the most points.
You talking about the
yards.
defense that ranked 32nd in points allowed, 32nd in yards, 32nd in rushing yards, 32nd in EPA, and 32nd in EPA per rush?
I am.
Yeah.
They are projected for one more win this year, 6.5.
I am actually really excited for this team because this is exactly not exactly. Let me phrase it better. Their defense is gonna stink. Like maybe they're not dead last again historically, though, allowing the most points of all time, but they will not be able to turn that thing around.
Not to an upper echelon defense for sure.
Meanwhile, after Bryce Young came back from the benching, whatever happened, Bryce Young was so much better as a player and as a quarterback. From week 12 on, Carolina averaged 25 points per game. That's 12th in the NFL. Bryce was 7th in fantasy points per drop back. He was 2nd in quarterback scrambles. He looked like a completely different person. And then their first pick is Teteroa McMillan, who is like, you can't be, Jamar Chase excited about McMillan, but I think that he'll be a true number one in the NFL. And that lets their last year's first-round pick, Xavier Legette, go be just a number 2 wide receiver.
Which is really what he is.
Which is really what he is. And the Canales offense is going to be able to run. No problem. So you give this team a better, improving offense with a horrifically bad defense. This is
a fantasy.
This is the combination where you find some just stinky treasures for fantasy football.
some stinky.
Well, you got to wash them off, man.
I get it. I know what you're saying.
It's not coming out pristine.
Name the Chuba is a treasure.
Chuba is interesting.
He's a 4th round, late 4th, maybe early 5th because nobody wants to stink of Carolina.
I like McMillan. I think that where he is going in drafts is
late 6
is a place that I'm happy to draft a top 10 NFL draft talent, and I think that Bryce Young really could surprise and not jump into a top 5 situation, but jump into a place where we're all making the jokes in week 6. We're like, oh, man, Bryce Young, he's still doing it. Can we count on him? And then by the end of the year, we're like, look at Bryce Young.
Jason, we got to get Mike a third my guy because we already know Bryce Young and Quentin Johnston are his first 2.
So we'll find the third.
We'll find the third one soon.
Probably from the next
Dowdle
team.
is on this team.
Dowdle's on this team. Yeah, you would never do 2 Panthers as a my guy. I'm sorry, my mistake.
So just
look, I don't mind having optimism
that I like.
because I think this is an easy situation to root for. I love Dave Canales. I'd love to see Bryce Young kind of save his career, which he started to do.
Well, I'm saying often we'll have a team like this, and in the divisional breakdown, we're like, this team stinks. They're gonna stink again. I think we got a chance here with Carolina.
Yeah, I'm having Kyle look up some numbers because I'm trying to find a really easy way to communicate the level of turnover that happens at the NFL level year over year and quantify it in a simple way. We're kind of looking into some ways to do that, but one of the stats that jumped out was 23% of NFL teams on a yearly basis improve their win total by 3 or more games. So a quarter of the league improves their win total by 3 or more games. That's an interesting reality in the NFL where you can't come in here and just say what was will be.
Yeah,
there's so much parity at the NFL.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That it's easily among all major sports has the most parity. You always see teams go from last place to first place in a division every single year. This is a very soft division. The Buccaneers look kind of entrenched at the top. They've been there for a while, and they clearly have the best roster. But the next three, they're all pretty soft.
Even Leggett is just he is completely abandoned.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, and look, I love Chuba, I really do. He defied the odds, right? You don't like running backs on teams that don't win games, and yet you like this running back on a team that doesn't win games. And then they went and gave him a contract, and then we know that Jonathan Brooks is gone for the year, and like Chuba's workload is going to be there. Will Dowdle spell him? Yeah, but so did other players last year. I think the workload for him. I mean, this was the RB7 for a stretch from weeks 3 to 16 last year. He can handle a ton of opportunities. I think he passes the eye test when I watch him. Like
on the ground, he does.
On the ground, yes.
His work in the receiving game leaves a lot to be desired, and that would be the if I had any hesitancy drafting Chuba where he is going, that would be it. I'm not going to proclaim that Rico Dowdle is just so much better at that part of the game than him, but Chuba was quite bad at it this past year.
Jason, ceiling for Teterow and McMillan fantasy finish-wise if things go right.
Ceiling if everything goes right and he's the alpha one would be like wide receiver 15.
And he's at 34 in drafts right now.
I think the person that's going to play a spoiler for Teterow and McMillan as well as Xavier Leggett.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Adam, wake up.
No.
Look, Adam Thielen was injured for part of the year. Bryce Young was benched for part of the year. When those two were back together on the field, I don't know if you guys even remember because, it felt like the Panthers were irrelevant. You kind of moved on. But the last 7 games they played together, Adam Thielen was on pace for 97 receptions, 1,228 yards, and 10 touchdowns. He was averaging 13.5 fantasy points per game. I know
I have him in Dynasty. You want him?
No.
Sure.
I proclaim he will not do that.
Anything. Literally anything you want.
Okay.
I don't care.
It will.
You agree if I can make you an official offer, you will accept it?
It can't involve any of your players.
Okay. Deal.
Yeah. All
right. He was it. Like Leggett wasn't ready to be a number one. I don't know that Leggett will ever be ready to be a number one, but I guess if anyone's going to mess it up for McMillan, it would be Thielen, but I don't think Thielen's going to mess it up for him.
At Jacksonville in week 1, at Arizona in week 2, then Atlanta, then New England. So that's the start, and we still have a team to talk about in this division.
All right.
I expect you to be a man of your word, Andy.
Did you send something?
Yes, offer has been made.
Okay. Mike, introduce our next team while I go take a look at this sweet Adam Thielen off. Okay.
Yep, be a man of your word. You agreed. If it did not include one of my players,
what is it?
You would accept the trade.
Is it like
it's $1 of fab.
In front of hundreds of thousands of people.
I didn't think about the fab. I'll be honest with you.
You agreed to a trade. Are you one of those guys that backs out of trades that you agreed to?
Not with normal people, but with you, I think I might.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. Get him, Foot Clan.
You could have got him, Jay. You could have sent over.
I'll make you a counter. We'll get this done.
Oh, okay. It's the New Orleans Saints. Right. Last year they were 5-12. Last year their projected win total was 7.5. And remember, those first 2 weeks with Derek Carr and Rashid Shaheed, and it was holy crap. Look at what.
Oh, it was so exciting.
Look at what this team is doing.
Jason was going to have to shave his head.
We had the shave a head meter. We had a beat down of the Dallas Cowboys in week 2, and then they lost 7 straight games after that.
Yeah, it was a 5-12 season that just turned sour quickly, and now Derek Carr is gone. Now, what's incredible is, they had a 7.5 win total last year. This year it's at 5.5, and that's with the 3rd easiest schedule on the books, according to Warren Sharp. It's a time of change for New Orleans, a time of, they hope, rebirth and rebuilding, and a new quarterback and a new head coach, Kellen Moore, taking over, who's been very good on the offensive side, something that they weren't last year. But rebirth does not normally come alongside like Brandon Cooks and Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
Like aged veterans.
Remember when I was talking about the Panthers of like, we might come on here and just dunk on a team? I mean, it is hard to be optimistic.
He has upped
about
the offer to
Saints.
2 fab so far.
I doubled I doubled an offer that you
2020
already said you would
A
accept.
2028 third. That's what I'm looking for.
No,
the
get out of
last possible, worst possible pick you can trade.
I know
I might need to start him, so I'm not
you
taking
might
it.
want the fab to grab players, and later in the year you're going to regret having not taken.
I'm not taking off-season fab though. You only have off-season fab right now.
Oh,
I need in-season fab. We'll talk about it.
I mean,
I'm still a man of my word if they take it for 1 fab at any point in the future.
is that true?
I don't know. I don't know if it's true or not. Well, the Saints defense was not good. They gave up the most rushing yards that they've ever given up since the year I was born, 1984. So start your running backs against the Saints was the story last year. It's going to be a whole new scheme, and there's going to be a whole lot of questions. Like Chris Olave has come up in so many mock drafts because he's one of the few players on the Saints that you can talk about with any sort of potential fantasy outcome. But it's going to become reliant on a new quarterback, Tyler Shuck, most likely, rookie, second-round quarterback.
Yeah.
Fill it out.
Doctor.
Dr. Shuck?
What?
He went to school. He better be a doctor. He
What
has
are we
6
doing?
years of school.
Oh,
6 years of college.
is this a Tommy Boy joke?
Basically, yeah.
Is this a Tommy?
I mean, if he's not a doctor or a lawyer, he's got to have a master's, right? I mean, 2 years at Oregon,
Dr.
3 years
Shuck
at
it
Texas
is.
Tech.
Dr. Shuck.
Yeah, Dr. Shuck.
Okay. Well, the quarterback situation is
Lay it all out there.
It's either Dr. Shuck or it's Spencer Rattler.
So it's Dr. Shuck because we've seen
Jake
Spencer
Haener.
Rattler.
I mean, there is.
So I'm going to be honest. I'll put myself out there. It is very, very rare for a player to go the path of Tyler Shuck and succeed. Almost impossible.
The Brandon Weeden path?
Yeah, exactly. Brandon Weeden tried to do it. That's like the best comp. We're
But
talking
not-
about Brandon
To
Weeden.
be fair, not a lot of people tried to do it.
That is
So
true.
you don't have a
because
lot of-
when you're good, you come out of college and you get drafted by the NFL. You don't stay there forever. He was injured a lot. And I went into the scouting process, and I will admit I don't believe I am the best scout of quarterbacks.
He has a master's degree.
2 of them.
Thank goodness.
2 regular degrees and a master's.
Yeah, he just kept going.
He's piling it
He
up.
was really working on that backup plan.
I wanted to really hate him. I like Tyler Shuck. I think the dude can play. Coming in with experience lately in the NFL has worked. You know, you had a couple of these players like Jaden Daniels was one of those guys who, wow, he was in college forever. You know, he was throwing passes to Brandon Ayuk back at, ASU, and it turns out a lot of the time to develop was good for him. And I think Tyler Shuck could surprise. So when we're talking about Chris Olave,
what if I give you this statistic though? That since 2014, we have 24 day 2 quarterbacks selected, and per our research, we have 3 of note for fantasy football. Jalen Hurts, obviously the smashing success, and that is Derek Carr and Jimmy Garoppolo.
yeah, no, I mean
The odds are
there
not
are
in his
so
favor.
many things against. If you just look at like data points of success,
Yeah.
and if we just want to be completely spreadsheet warriors, which a lot of times I'm happy to be just that, there's no chance. Like it's like a 90% against Tyler Shuck working. But if Tyler Shuck is just good, if he's actually good, he was injured every single one of those years. There's a reason he never really got the opportunity to play a full season in college until year 6. Then he was great.
If you're kind of good, this is the worst situation you could be in. Bottom third offensive line, lack of trustworthy, pass catchers, because I don't put Olave in the trustworthy category right now, and a running game that you really aren't sure what you're going to get out of it because you got a tough offensive line. Like I just struggle to see how this season goes different than we expect.
So are you not feeling good about Alvin Kamara, RB16?
Alvin Kamara has proven that he can kind of just,
Catch a million
as
passes.
long as he's on the field, which he will be, he just accumulates fantasy points, albeit slowly with small chunks and half a point per reception or whatever the case may be. So I'm fine with Kamara, especially love him in full PPRs, 4th round pick in full PPR leagues. I can deal with that. And look, if you have me bet on a wide receiver, it's going to be Olave. But that doesn't mean that it's impossible for Rashid Shaheed to have a better fantasy season than Olave, for Olave to get knocked out due to injury. Like, it's just we're at this point now with Olave that you're like all the peripherals are not exciting for him. And then you've got the injuries. And so the shine is off. Is it being discounted enough in the price? I don't know. I don't know if the wide receiver 26 off the board is enough of a discount to make me feel like Mike, you almost took him in one round of our mock.
I did.
And you
take
waited
him, yeah.
till the next round to take him.
Oh,
you remember that?
Happened? Yeah,
you were going to think, you thought about taking him. You didn't take him. He came back to you. Like, I think that will be Olave in a lot of drafts. And if he slips.
Was that the pick you regretted at the end?
It just because of my particular build of that DeAndre Swift went a couple picks after, and I was like, oh man, this team really could have used.
Is there any
Swift.
chance Juwan Johnson is a sneaky player this year because of the question marks?
I am so happy that you brought it up.
Is that your third my guy?
And I didn't have to.
There it is.
Juwan Johnson, Bryce Young, Quentin Johnston.
Here,
that's your stats.
Let's have a fun thing to talk about for the New Orleans Saints.
Let's try.
So Kellen Moore has taken over for this team. He is an offensive coach. Juwan Johnson, if you don't know who he is the tight end for the New Orleans Saints who just signed a 3-year, $30 million their deal in the offseason. So he's not a nobody. He's also had some stints where he was a real startable fantasy tight end. But Kellen Moore is in. Kellen Moore's offense has often given us just goodness from the slot position. Now, it's an embarrassing name of riches when you list it off of like, hey, Devontae Smith moves into the slot. He got 5 touchdowns in that area, those fourth most in the NFL from the slot. You had Keenan Allen average the most slot receptions per game. You had CeeDee Lamb lead the NFL in slot receiving yards. So obviously Juwan Johnson's not those guys, but he led the team in slot routes and slot receptions last year, and we have gone over who are the wide receivers here. Like Rashid and Olave should be outside wide receivers. There's a chance that Juwan Johnson plays a lot in the slot.
Every bad team gets the football. They get offensive possessions, and I just threw it out there as like a deep sleeper.
Yeah, I love me some Juwan Johnson.
You've always believed. They play Arizona in week 1, likely with a rookie under center. Then San Francisco, Seattle, and Buffalo. Seattle and Buffalo on the road. Yeah, that's a rough start, man. That's a rough start. But we expect that from New Orleans this year. So here we are at the end of the breakdown show, trying to predict the division in order. What do you got for me? Do you want me to go first? I mean, do you guys want to go?
I can start it because I know what mine is. I'm going Tampa Bay at the top. I just think they are the best team. Then we're going to go Carolina Panthers second. I'm going to put the Falcons in third, and I will put the Saints at the bottom.
Yeah, I hate what I'm going to say because I want something to be different, but it does to me feel really obvious what happened last year.
He's going to crush it up and throw it up in the air and just bathe in that chalk.
Tampa Bay will finish first in this division. Yeah. I think the next best team is the Falcons, followed by
Carolina and New Orleans.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I mean it's as chalky as it gets, but sometimes
I feel like
there's a reason.
Of all the divisions we have talked about yet so far, though, this is the one we can come back and be like, whoops.
Definitely. I mean, look, two straight years they didn't settle it until the week 18.
Yeah, and they have done this. I know Tampa Bay's like since the Brady trade, like they've kind of figured some things out, but before that, like this division would just flip-flop who would win.
Atlanta is the surprise division winner for me. I mean, that would be the one. Because I think they have enough personnel. They did enough on the defensive side of the football. If Michael Penix,
if Penix is
really good, they got the pieces. Bijan's an elite player, good offensive coordinator. That's the surprise division winner, and I think that could happen. But it's hard not to like the stability of Tampa. So we've got upcoming NFC East and West shows, another mock draft. We got Ice and Fire coming up soon, which means August is almost here. We got ranking shows. We got the Ultimate Draft Kit at ultimatedraftkit.com and the community at jointhefoot.com, and we would love you to be part of that community here as we go into what? Is this year?
11.
Year 11.
Yeah.
Year 11 of the Fantasy Footballers podcast. So thank you for tuning in. We love you. Shout out to the Deucers back there. I love one of you two. You guys can fight over it. Catch you next time.
Goodbye.
Thank Thank you for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Join our fantasy football community on jointhefoot.com and follow us on Twitter @TheFFBallers.